Washington State swimming head coach Russell Whitaker. We're going to recap the impressive performance at the Mountain West Conference Championships last week, or I guess 10 days ago. Best finish in program history, second place, just behind San Diego State without diving is very impressive. Seven conference titles. How much fun was that week for you and your program?
Yeah, that was an absolute blast, I think, for our entire program, the staff, the athletes. That was just, I think, the dream come true scenario with the goals that we've set for the year. It was for us to be a top three program. Was really, I think, what we wanted to have is be that bar for us to reach. And so for us to get second, and really, I think, we'll talking about it a little bit more, but it came down to that final relay where we had to edge out UNLV in order to get that second place finish. So the fact that it came down to the last event and the girls did what they did, I mean, I'm floored as a head coach with what they were able to accomplish over that week.
It's the two or three individual relays or the three individual titles and four relay wins. Let's start with Darcy Revitt, sophomore, wins the 50 free and 100 free, and is named the co-swimmer of the meet. What was it like watching her as a sophomore now kind of show up and dominate from the first day on?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely just phenomenal with her individual events, that 50 free and 100 free, especially just watching her step up, nabbing a pool record down there at the University of Houston pool. And again, that's got some big names down there from when they've held the Pac-12 championships in the past. And still a great field of people that she's competing with within those events in the Mountain West. And so there's that. Darcy competed in the 200 freestyle this year as well individually for us and did what she needed to do in that event. Usually we swim the breaststroke, but very happy with how she stepped up and executed that. But, Austin's done a ton of great work with her. I've got to give him a lot of credit since, with the associate head coach role and him overseeing the sprint group, what he's done with Darcy, just truly that entire sprint group that was on full display at this meet. And I think it just was just very fun to watch. Just very dominant, and especially with her in the relays and all of that as well.
And in our All-American, senior All-American, Emily Lundgren, everyone, she can't sneak up on people anymore. Now you're a four-time going to the NCAAs, but she wins another Mountain West title and finishes second and two others. And as part of all those relay wins, how much fun was watching your senior Emily Lundgren at the conference championships one final time.
Yes, the 200 IM, really fun to watch her kick off the meet with that for us, just with the time and getting the conference championship. And that was a very tightly contested event this year. And then the 100 breaststroke and the 200 breaststroke, really good. It can't be, I'm not upset with the second place finish with that. Both in the breaststrokes, Mackenzie Lung-Miller being just ranked right there with Emily, two of the best breaststrokers in the country. Is a great race. I mean, the 200 especially, I know it went to Mackenzie Lung-Miller, but the 200 breaststroke coming down to 100th of a second, that's got to be one of my favorite races I've ever seen. Just all around how much grit both of those swimmers have, but especially Emily. Very fun to see in that time. I mean, that's something I guess maybe we've struggled with, I think, was just trying to get not back to where we were, but just proving that we could get to those times that we threw down last year as a junior. And so for her to throw down that 2:07.0 going into NCAAs, I mean, she's been looking phenomenal in practices. I think that was just the better, how do we build our confidence now as we do go into our fourth NCAA championship meet and start getting ready for that. And same thing on the relays, especially how she did step up on that 400 free relay at the very end to help us get that school record. I mean, dropping like a second off of our 400 free relay school record, just again, phenomenal swims all the way around.
Those were the two that had individual wins, but there was a number of medalists. What were some other performances? I mean, Anna Rockholtz, Tatum Janning, impressive for her sophomore swim. Lauren Willie, how about, I want to say the others, but there was a number of medalists there that helped us finish second.
Yeah, that was the big thing that we've been preaching all year. And again, I know we've said it many a times that the depth needed to show up in dual meets, and it showed up at our conference meet. And that was really what elevated us to that second place finish, was the depth. Again, Lauren Willie having phenomenal showings in her events there. Anna Rockholtz in the backstroke, there's just the consistency from her has just been kind of unreal. I would say probably, like what you had mentioned the name, but who probably had the most breakout meet was probably Tatum Janning. Her events, how much that she climbed from the psych sheets to where she finished in all of her events. And just watching just how dominant she was in that and the confidence that she had in her races was amazing. Addie Lewis was another one with our program. Watching her sneak into the A funnel, that 100 fly, that was just amazing to see that and how she steps up on our sprint relays as well. And then a person, we had mentioned at the beginning of the year, and I think it was just more, I guess, full circle, but just really coming to fruition. But our dark horse at the beginning of the year was Isabel Parrish. And watching what Isabel did at this conference championship compared to last year, last year she was one of our exhibition swimmers, and she made it a point that she never wanted that to happen again. And not that it was like a, hey, we're trying to do this on purpose, but she wanted to make it a point that, hey, I am going to be a contributing member with the points and everything else as well. And you saw that on the relays, you saw that in her individual events as well. So I'm just very excited for her when it came to that. Our distance group, Jackie has absolutely crushed it. Just a big shout out to that group as a whole. But watching our milers, we had 4 in the top 8 and then 2 just outside of that. So again, that was just very exciting just to see again all around the depth showing up across the board.
And I should have mentioned Ashlyn Hernandez. Her name was everywhere all week long.
Yeah, Ashlyn did a phenomenal job when you look at the breaststroke and the IMs, and especially in that 400 medley relay and everything else as well. No, she did a phenomenal job, and just very excited to continue to see her grow throughout the year as well.
The Cougs finished second at the Mountain West Championships. That's the best finish at a conference championships in program history. The 7 individual titles. How much fun was that meet down there in Houston, our last year in the Mountain West before getting back into the Pac-12 play next year? How much fun was that at the Mountain West down in Houston the last 2 years?
Yeah, it's been very fun. I mean, the Mountain West, they've done an amazing job with the student athlete experience, and very appreciative to them of giving us a home for the last 2 years. They've been very accommodating for us. And especially all the coaches. It's a great group of coaches. I know we've got some of them coming with us to the new Pac-12, but then those staying. But they've been amazing mentors for me throughout this time. Mike Schrader at San Diego State, Brendan Bray at Nevada, Gene at Fresno State, Woody at Colorado State. I mean, just the list goes on and on. I mean, even Dave Denniston at Wyoming. So it's like very, very thankful for what those coaches have done. And I think, again, we've seen how I think everybody, I don't think it's just us, but I think it's how the conference elevated itself to the fact that the Mountain West is one of the fastest conferences in the country this year. I mean, when you look at the number of swimmers that have been invited from the Mountain West to the NCAA Championships, it's probably the most in Mountain West history, I would argue. And so I think that's what's also been just very fun is just in a 2-year span, watching how fast that meet got and how we were all kind of using each other to continue to move forward. But yeah, very, very excited.
Shifting gears now, more postseason and more postseason accomplishments and accolades for your program. Emily Lundgren selected the NCAA Championships. Darcy Rivet selected the NCAA Championships. The relay team, one of the relay teams, just missed out on the making the NCAA Championships. But what's a big moment on Wednesday morning? Sending the two swimmers back to the NCAA Championships. How exciting is that for your program?
Yeah, I think very exciting. It just continues to show that we're going to continue to have a footprint there at the NCAA Championships as a swim program. Emily Lundgren, I think now is just putting the final stamp on her mark here at Washington State, but being our first 4-time NCAA qualifier now. Just again, the mark that she's left on this program, it's can never be, I think, overstated with what she's done for this program, the way that she's helped bring people along into this program and the culture that she's helped build. And then you definitely see that with Darcy Revitt now going 2 for 2 already in her career with Washington State, and hopefully going to be in a spot where, both of them can score. At the end of the day, we know they're going to both do the best we can. I don't know that we've got expectations set that they need to be there, but what's going to happen is going to happen. And we know that they know what's on the line, but very exciting for them to go up against a very impressive field down in Atlanta here before long. And the relays, again, we were very close in the 200 medley relay and 200 freestyle relay. And so I think it's really exciting. The 200 medley relay will have to rebuild a little bit next year with Anna and Emily graduating, but everybody returns from that 200 free relay. And I do believe with our returners and our incoming freshmen, we are going to have very formidable sprint relays, especially with what Austin's been doing with that sprint program.
So March 18th down in Atlanta, I think that it's Georgia Tech's pool that will be hosting the NCAA Championships this year. What's the plan for the next, 10 or so days and training with those two?
Yeah, just continuing to get them ready for the meet itself and just kind of that environment. At this time of the year, they're both training pretty exclusively under Austin right now, just working more of that upfront sprint speed. So I feel like I'm more of Austin's assistant right now and getting to help him out, which is really good for him. But really exciting just to be able to see when we get down there. It's a very fast pool in Atlanta. We haven't been down there for a hot minute, but it's it's where the 1996 Olympics were held, was down there when they had it. So it's a very fast pool, got a lot of history and everything as well. So we'll be training. We'll get down there Monday, the week of the NCAA Championships. Again, it's a little bit of a new format as far as the order of events. It won't really impact these two's performances or how we're, I guess, truly preparing for that. But again, this is going to be a very fast NCAA Championship meet still.
And one last recap. So Emily will compete in the 100 breast and 200 breast, Darcy the 50 free and 100 free.
Yes, that is correct.
And well, congrats again. Second place in Mountain West Championships, 7 titles, and that's the best finish in a conference history or in program history at a conference championships. Thanks for your time, Coach, and we'll talk to you ahead of the NCAAs.
Perfect. Thanks, Bobby, and go Cougs.